Last night on MasterChef Australia,
The countdown to the finals has well and truly begun.
Andre stood victorious as he wooed the judges in both the mystery box and the invention test.
You're on fire, young man. 2 in a row, congratulations.
It's so good to finally win.
He's on a run. He really is.
Tonight, our chefs call the shots
Today we get to the guts of what this competition is all about.
as they create a menu for their dream restaurant.
I feel more pressure today than I've felt in most other challenges in this competition.
I don't think we're convinced you ultimately want to make that jump between amateur chef and professional.
There can only be one master chef. They will get the chance to work in Australia's top restaurants, publish their own cookbook, and win $100,000.
Yesterday we had mystery box, and I managed to sneak a win in there.
The winner is Andre.
And managed to win an invention test.
The person who cooked the best meal today was Andre.
Well done, Andre.
To be the first to win back-to-back on the challenges, a pretty cool feeling. Hopefully today I can follow it up with another victory.
Today, we would normally have a pressure test for those of us who finished in the bottom 3, but Sarah announced yesterday that there is no pressure test this week and we're doing something completely different today. I don't know what that is yet.
I didn't sleep very well last night. I don't sleep well before challenges or, anything. I have weird dreams, food dreams. It's disturbing.
It's a bit strange today because there's no elimination, which is very unusual, and apparently we've got a huge test ahead of us, so this is going to be very, very interesting to see what this one is.
I think that everybody's a little bit sceptical about what today holds. Who knows what sort of challenge we have in store today. This competition's heating up and amping up every moment we step back into the kitchen.
We drive into the MasterChef car park and come into the kitchen and, there's our benches ready for action.
Chris, Andre, Sam and Julie, today we get to the guts of what this competition is all about. Today we find out who's truly serious about becoming Australia's first MasterChef. This is the challenge we're setting you today. You must all create your dream 3-course meal. It's to be a meal that you would serve in your own restaurant. 3 courses that show us who you truly are.
That's what I think that MasterChef is about, striving to be a chef and open up a restaurant. I've got a number of different dream menus, so it's about just choosing 3 that go well together.
I want to win this. I feel a little liberated because hopefully I can produce the kind of food I love and show the judges what I'm all about.
The judges will taste all your efforts and decide on the best meal overall. They're looking to see who has the best and most clearly defined vision for their future.
So now I'm going to put you on the spot. Chris, tell me what your vision is.
Obviously, I want to open up a beer-focused bar and restaurant. And I want to develop food that not only uses beer as part of its ingredients, but matches with beer. So it's all about, just pushing forward that direction.
This one's pretty special for me. I get to show off my skills and my passion for food. I'm not here to come second, and I'll give it 10 million% to be the last one standing.
Sam, what's your vision?
I guess it's fuzzy, George. I'm still learning, and I'm not going to put my hand up and say I'm ready to open a restaurant yet, because I'm not.
You can't leave here and become a head chef. It's not going to be possible. So what is it? Is it just go and work in a family restaurant? Is it commie, a chef de partie? What is it?
Look, it's all of that. It's travelling, it's discovery, it's learning more about food, it's going and working in restaurants, it's you know, it's all of that, to find out exactly where my culinary dream lies.
For me, it feels a little bit weird that you haven't got an idea going forward. You need to dream.
Having the judges query my passion for food really hit home with me. I can assure everybody that I love cooking. It's very personal, and I love that you can put your emotions, you can put your feeling on a plate.
Andre, what's your dream? What's your vision?
I'm going to head to Italy, and a dream of mine is to learn in the top culinary schools there, to study and work over there. And following that, once I become legitimate in that field, then I'll be looking at starting a business up. Today's a big day. It's the start of our culinary journey. I do want to make cooking a bigger part of my life. I'm doing MasterChef because I'm trying to discover if my home passion translates into the commercial world.
Julie, you've had a really vibrant theme to your cooking throughout the entire competition. How's that going to translate into your dream restaurant?
My restaurant's not going to be a fine dining sort of a restaurant. It is going to be about people coming along, enjoying a really good hearty meal, you know, having to undo their belt a notch at the end of it. I'd like to just provide a place where people can come and be really cared for by a top team. I need to try really hard to nail this today. It's also about showing the judges that we can cook what we say we can cook.
This is the opportunity you've been asking for. The chance to cook your own food, your own way, without any of those evil restrictions.
For the first time ever in MasterChef, you get to go in and out of the pantry at your leisure, and you get free choice of all ingredients. You have 2.5 hours to cook an entree, main and dessert. That represents you. That represents what you believe in. That represents what's going to go forward, what we're going to come to in a couple years' time, and hopefully what he's going to review.
Given the fact we can do anything we want, it could be an advantage and a disadvantage. You could confuse yourself and not produce a cohesive meal. So there's a few stumbling blocks.
The prize on offer today is the chance to have lunch and pick the brains of 3 of the top chefs in this country. 3 chefs that have won Sydney's Chef of the Year.
I'm Katrina Kanatani, Chef of the Year 2007 and Head Pastry Chef at Pier Restaurant.
I'm Sean Conley, Chef of the Year for 2008, Head Chef of Astral Restaurant and Sean's Kitchen.
I'm Justin North, Chef of the Year 2009 and Head Chef and owner of Bacass and its restaurants.
Even I am envious of you if you win this.
It's once in a lifetime opportunity to get those 3 chefs in a room together or something, but to actually sit and dine with them and pick their brains, that's amazing.
How exciting, cooking your own food, finally. We're really looking forward to it. You have 2.5 hours to cook your little tushes off.
And don't forget, your time management, especially of past, has been not up to scratch. So as soon as the whistle blows, you need to go like the clappers. Your time starts now.
So time starts, I go into the pantry, so I realise that I've actually set myself quite a lot to do. I've chosen to make a lobster bisque in a steak and a ginger syrup sponge. The reason I chose these dishes are because they're exactly the kind of food I'd like on my own restaurant menu. Oh, there's the brandy. My goal is to open a small restaurant on the Central Coast with home-style food. I want it to be somewhere warm and comfortable and low-key.
Today's challenge represents an opportunity for everybody to show the direction that they're heading in with their food. And the struggle for me is that I don't know what that direction is yet.
Thematically, I'm going for my food that makes me happy, food that I want to present
People think they know Italian cuisine, and my point way back in the competition was to bring something to the competition that showed Italian food wasn't just red sauce and pizza.
Garlic. I approach the pantry course at a time. The main is going to be a half roasted pig's head. Not to use a pun, but I'm a pig in shit with this kind of challenge. You know, it's brilliant. I get to do my kind of food. The pig's head really sums up the kind of cooking I love. It also reinforces the fact that you should use all the animal. And some of the pieces that don't get used are actually some of the tastiest. Oh, look at him.
You like that?
I love it.
Chris is really going out on a limb today by serving up a pig's head to these judges.
The pig head thing definitely has shock value. It doesn't necessarily tickle my fancy, but it's his thing.
Brilliant. I prep the pig's head by shaving any hair off, then blowtorching any bits I can't get to. I kind of nestle that into the shallots and garlic, pour over some brandy, some wine, some chicken stock, season it, put a bouquet garni in there.
Chris, what are your 3 courses?
Entrees are stuffed duck neck with pork belly and duck meat. The main courses are half of a pig's head slow roasted, served with wilted greens. Dessert is tiramisu, so it's
tiramisu. So tiramisu
with double chocolate stout.
Oh, double chocolate stout.
Yeah,
oh,
Young's.
Goodness.
Yeah,
lovely. I'm looking forward to that. So the idea with cooking this pig's head in the oven is that the stock reduces, and then at the end of it you get this caramelised shallot and all the rest of it on the bottom.
Yeah, beautiful caramelised sauce. Mix in a little bit of mustard.
Yeah.
And then I'll welt some watercress and parsley in there. That's the bed that I present the dish on.
This is real gourmet's food.
Andre. Gentlemen, I'm starting off with the dessert so it gets in the freezer.
So what's this?
This is like a semi-freddo. It's called a spumone. It won't harden, it'll be quite soft. Okay. Has lemon peel in it.
So you're doing 3 courses?
Doing 3 courses. This dessert.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and
okay. Here, I'll do that for you, Andre.
No, it's okay.
So what's your entree in your main?
Entree will be a classic Tuscan dish, walnut gnocchi. So bits of walnut are through each dumpling, and it'll be in a little pecorino basket. For main, I've got the rainbow trout, which I'm going to just do a confit, and then I'm going to be making up a caponata and develop that because it can get really flavoursome.
Excellent.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
Cheers.
Don't overcook the fish.
Nope.
Julie, you look happy today. You excited?
Yeah.
So what are you cooking? Entree, main, dessert?
Entree is going to be a lobster bisque. Main is going to be a Scotch fillet with baby vegetables. And dessert is a ginger syrup pudding with cinnamon ice cream. Lots of things could always go wrong here. I've never made the dessert before. My main concern is that the cake won't turn out. I've made lots of cake before, I haven't made this particular one.
Sam has a passion for food and thinks he wants to cook, but I find it a little unusual. He doesn't have a particular style, not even a cuisine that he likes. I'm surprised he's got so far without any kind of clear direction.
Hey, Sam. How you going?
I'm good.
So, you're cooking your own dish finally?
I am, yes.
This is your kind of food? Braised shanks?
Braised shanks, absolutely.
What's the entree? What's the dessert?
The entree is a duck salad.
Yep.
And the dessert is going to be a summer pudding.
OK. What can go wrong here, do you think? You're going to have time to cook those shanks?
Yeah, it's timing. I mean, we've got 2.5 hours, so essentially they really need to break down and become nice and gelatinous.
Yep. So what do you think of Sammy?
You know what, Gary? Would I walk into a restaurant that's giving me autumn salad, moving on to a really winter braised shanks, and then moving on to a summer dessert? I don't get it.
It is a bit confused, let's be honest. Loving the sound of Chris's menu.
It's the type of restaurant you want to go and eat at because it's got a concept, it's got an identity. He's releasing his gift to everyone, and that is his food, his beer, his whole concept.
He believes it all.
He's on the money.
So, Julie, she's doing a big home-style dish. What do you think?
You know, I can visualise lots of colours in this restaurant. It's not going to be as moody as Chris's place, and you're going to go in there and you're going to get a big bowl of bisque, crunchy bread. My only worry about her is she's messy, Gary.
Super messy.
Well, Andre's definitely in the hot seat of that red Ferrari, and he's gunning along at the moment, ever since Hong Kong.
At last, the dish that you should be proud to put into your scrapbook of great MasterChef moments.
We've come back here to MasterChef Kitchen and he's producing some beautiful food.
It's a good idea, good dishes. I just want to see whether or not you can deliver it at the end of the day. So half an hour has elapsed already of your 2.5 hours. So hopefully those big ticket items are already in the oven and cooking away.
We've got 2.5 hours. I would love 8 hours to cook lamb shanks. Still chopping onions, and yeah, I really need to get a move on to get these in the oven.
There's a different kind of pressure today because this is our food. There's sort of nowhere to hide. We have to do it really well.
Getting this pig's head into the oven and cooked within the time frame is pretty daunting. If I can't get that oven hot enough, it may not cook and I'll be screwed.
The rules are that we have to cook the kind of food that we would like to serve in our dream restaurant. So we're to do a 3-course menu. We've got 2.5 hours. We're all pretty keen to win the prize, which is to have lunch with 3 of Australia's top chefs. I would really love to win today.
So half an hour has elapsed already of your 2.5 hours.
Starting to shell the lobster, preparing the bisque veg, so I'm right on schedule. Right on schedule. In terms of my place in the competition, I still sort of pinch myself that I ever got called up for an audition. Okay. Yep, I'm ready.
Go! Everyone's behind you. Off you go.
Now that I'm sort of at this end of the competition, I'm enjoying cooking my own food and food that I would love to serve in my restaurant.
I need to start my stuffed duck's neck. If you peel the skin off it, it makes a fantastic sausage casing. The stuffing I'm using is pretty straightforward. It's minced up duck breast, minced pork belly, cubes of black pudding, parsley, and I've used some spices. You need to seal up either end of it so the stuffing doesn't burst out when you cook it.
I concentrate on my entree, which is the walnut gnocchi. Once the gnocchi's ready, I set it aside. Then I make a little pecorino cheese basket. With the baskets, you just grate the cheese and then sprinkle it into a fry pan and just on a low heat, gently melt it and then flick it off over a glass where you'll get a nice basket shape. This is a true Tuscan dish served in a true Tuscan way.
Time flies when you're cooking something that means so much to you. You need to push through and start thinking about that finishing line.
The next thing I approach is the biramizu, and the reason for that is it really needs to sit in the refrigerator for about an hour just to firm up. I invented biramizu just by accident. One day I was making tiramisu and just thought, well, instead of putting the standard, liqueur in there, why not put some beer in there? And, biramizu and tiramisu, it's a lucky play on words. It's a really simple process. Put the soaked biscuits in the bottom, a layer of the cream mixture, biscuits, another layer of cream, cocoa on the top, into the fridge. It's that simple, sets in the fridge.
You're now down already, so you're nearly halfway through.
Definitely watching the clock every single minute. I'm keeping my eye on it and just hoping that time just slows down a little bit.
Andre, I feel a bit nervous for you because if it was me, I'd want to be a bit further ahead.
Yeah.
So I think you need to get your skates on.
I do. Julie, last time we left you...
George and Gary make me nervous every time they approach the bench. They say my bisque mixture in the pan could probably use some more oil.
Be careful, that's looking really dry. Probably need some more oil in there.
Too much heat will burn it rather than caramelise and brown it.
It's at 180, 190. We've got 90 minutes left and the oven is still not getting anywhere near 200 degrees and I wanted it on 220 for the first hour at least. The problem is it's a domestic oven and I've put a lot of pig in there and it just sucks all the heat out of these small ovens, so I'm going to struggle to get this done in time.
What you've got it on here is that's a convection, and what I would put it on is that top and bottom heat and convection, which means you're getting, heat from top and bottom, and then convection air to go round. And
so if you, is not enough?
No.
I have no idea if this thing's going to be ready or not. In fact, I don't think it is going to be.
I am nervous today, and I am worried about my timing today because I've never cooked this food under pressure. It's always been in the comfort of my own kitchen. It does freak me out a bit.
I don't pay attention to anything anyone else is doing. I hear a few grunts from Sam in front of me, that's about it. But it's just concentrating on my task, on my bench, and full steam ahead.
You're in the final hour of your challenge.
This is the hour that will make or break you as a chef.
Sammy?
How are you guys? Today, we are going to get to cook a three-course meal that represents us as cooks. Someone like myself who's still playing around with food and really discovering it may struggle to represent to the judges what is a three-course menu that's going to feature in their restaurant. I feel more pressure today than I've felt in most other challenges in this competition.
You have less than 45 minutes to go.
There's still a lot of pressure because there's only 4 of us here now. If you muck up your dishes, you're standing right there in front of the judges with only 3 other people.
The next thing I move on to is some preparation for my dessert. It's going to be single-serve summer puddings, and the cream is actually going to be inside the puddings rather than over the top. That's just a little Sam for you.
My main meal, I elected to do steak. It's just a lovely, simple thing, and I think it's often a very popular dish on a menu.
Where is your sauce? Have you got a sauce on the go?
No, that'll be when I deglaze the pan.
Oh, right, so it's just a quick sauce out of the bottom of the pan.
Yep.
Get enough flavour in there for that?
Of course I will.
OK, then. We've been told, George.
Well, you know, I hope so.
You've got just under 15 minutes to go, so hopefully you're in the final throes of putting your meal together.
As I look around at this stage, Andre seems like he's got still a fair bit of work to do, but he always leaves things to the last minute.
I had to get onto this fillet of fish, and I'm thinking, here we go again with this time thing right to the wire. It's always a spanner in my work in the MasterChef kitchen.
Now it's time to take the pig's head out. Come hell or high water, it's got to be ready. I slide it out of the oven and it's absolutely perfect. My God, I'm glad it's out and I'm glad it's right.
The ginger sponge cakes come out of the oven now, which is a hooray moment, because often that's where I fall down with cakes, as they stick in the mould.
You have 10 seconds to go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your time is up. Step away from your benches.
So we've all finished cooking, and the judges will now taste what I think will probably be the best meals that they've had in this competition.
Well, guys, this is the big moment. The judges will now head to the restaurant to taste your signature meals. Thank you, judges.
It is actually a privilege to be asked to cook the kind of food I want to cook in my restaurant. I think it means that the judges are really starting to hone in on us as individuals.
Julie, can you explain your menu?
Yes, the entree is a lobster bisque with lobster tail medallions. The main is Scotch fillet with glazed baby vegetables and Swiss brown mushrooms, and dessert is a ginger syrup cake with cinnamon ice cream and praline.
Why did you choose this particular menu? Tell us what appealed to you.
Well, the brief was to cook something I'd like to cook in my restaurant. When I go out to eat, this is the sort of thing I would choose to eat. It's sort of a match for the type of establishment that I want to open. Just relaxed and warm sort of place, not somewhere where people have to go and be on their best behaviour.
Yeah.
Why do you think you should be Australia's first MasterChef?
I believe that this is a calling for me. I cook daily at home. That part of my day is the heart of my day. And what I do in the kitchen is among the greatest of the gifts that I give to my family.
First impressions, it's a really generous dish. There's some massive flavours in there. The lobster tastes sweet, but the sauce is really strong.
For me, lobster's well cooked. The sauce has got a kind of velouté type of velvetiness to it.
There's a lot of lobster there. At the moment, $72 a kilo. We do the costings on that, and you are throwing money in the bin. Okay, so you really need to think about that. Beautiful, thin little medallion is appropriate.
Steaks cooked beautifully, really nice and tender. What I am missing is a good sauce. That's what I want. If I order steak, I want a nice sauce, whether it's a bordelaise or a diable or something that's gonna, kick in.
But it lacks that essential zing that's going to make me ring Gary when I come back and go, man, I went to Julie's. You've got to go and have the steak there. You should try the
I'm thinking of
butter.
the tarragon salt chips.
Yeah, absolutely right.
That you did in one of your challenges.
The tarragon salt is exceptional. Well done, Julie.
I think if you'd done a beautiful steak with tarragon salt chips, I'd be raving about it.
The judges think steak and chips would have been more true to me. And that's true, and I agree with that. That would have been more true to me.
It manages to do two things. It manages to be the Julie pudding, that lovely, moist, cakey pudding, but it's also elegant. That's the sort of food that I'd love to see you doing, because that speaks to everybody. Everyone can enjoy that pudding, but also, as a critic, I'll come there and go, excellent, I can see a little bit into your heart by what you've cooked there.
Thank you.
Matt says that in that dish, he can see the balance between the home style and the restaurant style. So whatever it is about that dish that made him say that, I need to bottle it and bring it to every challenge from now on.
Cooking's done, now we've got to wait for the judges to critique our dishes and hopefully they're all successful. It's a dream menu and you want it to reflect well upon you and get it right.
Andre, tell us what you've cooked.
For entree, I've done a Tuscan walnut gnocchi with pecorino cheese and a light milk sauce. For main, I did a confit of rainbow trout with a caponata. And for dessert, I did a semi-freddo.
Shall we taste the starter?
Yep. The gnocchis themselves are lovely, and you can tell they're homemade, and it's a great job.
I like the idea of a milk sauce. Honestly, I've never really seen it before, so I'm excited by it.
That gnocchi with that walnut flavour is fantastic, and it deserves a better home than something that's a hangover from an era where people over-garnish plates. Where did you get the time machine to whiz back to 1989 and find yourself a cheese basket? Because I have not seen one of those for 20 years.
All I can say to that is, had it in Tuscany 2 years ago, loved it, could be seen as kitsch, but I still stand by my decision.
I love the flavours, I think really, really nice. Trout's cooked perfectly and the caponata's really, really tasty. The ice cream's got a lovely texture, really nice. The way you made it with the Savion is really beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love the glass. It's spectacular. It's quite Italian as well. It is, eh? Forget the crap about, stereotyping, all right? All right? The Italians know how to make things look great. Andre, we've tasted 3 dishes from you. Now tell us, how are they representative of your vision?
I'm a bit of an enigma with my cooking, so I don't have one dish that actually represents me completely.
So that main dish, Andre, is that on the menu at your restaurant?
Elements of those are on the menu. Gnocchi, yeah, I love gnocchi, chestnut gnocchi, spinach ricotta gnocchi. I could go on and on.
What's so funny?
Oh, because I'm thinking about gnocchi. That's all I think of, really. That's what's funny. I was thinking about setting up a gnocchi van instead of a pie cart years ago.
Where have you been for the rest of the competition? And suddenly you're laughing, you're talking with a kind of interest about food. Where have you been?
Just been quite quiet. I've reserved my passion and I've decided not to extend it to others.
Andre, you're the fence sitter.
I'm not here for the cameras and I'm not here for the hoorah television bullshit. I'm here for my career in food and as a chef. It's about me and my career and going forward.
Nice to hear, Andre.
This tasting's going to be more personal for all 4 of us, especially for me, I think. So I'm actually putting in front of them 3 dishes to represent me, where I'm going and what I want to serve in my Beer Mason restaurant, and that's a big deal. If they shoot it down in flames, it'll be heart-wrenching.
Chris, tell me about your 3-course meal.
Entree is a stuffed duck neck sausage with a parsley salad. Main is half a roast pig's head, and dessert is biramizu.
A biramizu?
Biramizu.
Now, tell me how this fits into this image of a little beer bar, European in feel.
I like the idea of unusual, rich kind of food, stuff that really goes well with European-style beers. And I do believe in the whole nose-to-tail approach. I do like to use all the bits of the animal, hence, using the duck neck as a casing, using the pig's head. I mean, the cheek is just such a beautiful, succulent piece of meat that's very underutilised.
Your vision's very strong. It all comes down to the taste. So, Georgie, please, the duck sausage. That duck neck sausage is delicious. So if I came to your beer bar and had that, I'd be ringing my friends that evening and going, come on down, you've got to come here. That's fantastic, Chris, well done. Well, Chris, to your main course of pig's head. You bought it, you serve it.
Thinking, oh no, this could go really pear-shaped because it's not the easiest thing to serve.
Oh, the sound.
When the knife cracked through the crackling and they heard the noise and they went, oh, that was a good start.
Can I tell you, that just smells absolutely beautiful. It's like this beautiful stock.
Hallelujah. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's you on a plate.
In terms of a big urban beer hall, you're serving great Steinzer lager, when that comes to the table, you'll have whole tables of people throwing their arms up in the air and going, hallelujah. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a pretty amazing feeling, actually, to get validation from guys like that. Doesn't get any better.
It's lovely and sweet, and then you get that little overtone of that chocolate beer at the back there. Brilliant. I could eat the whole glass.
What can I say other than Biramizu? It could be a crisp classic to replace an Italian classic. Great.
They love all three dishes, so I'm walking out of there with a big smile on my face, pretty happy.
It's my turn to take my dishes to the judges, and look, I am nervous about what they're going to say to me today.
Sam, remind us of your menu.
Yes, for entree, you have a pan-roasted duck salad with beetroot and a pomegranate dressing. Main course is lamb shanks with creamy mashed potato and gremolata, and the dessert is a summer pudding.
George, should we taste?
Yes.
Matt, should we taste? The only thing I'd say is a bit of a confusion of seasons there.
Yeah.
Got all sorts of things on there. You've got asparagus, you've got beetroots, you know, you've got pomegranate. There's a whole mix there. And when I look at the menu, it then goes on to a wintry lamb shank and then a summer pudding. That's the only thing I will say.
This dish, it's a lamb shank. It's something that, you know, you want to fight over the bone and sort of pick it up and start sucking on it. Well done.
It's not really a classic summer pudding, but it's good that you're moving it on. Well done. I'd eat that.
How does this fit in with Sam's theme?
I think that this represents the journey that I am on with food, and it may not be a free-flowing menu yet, but I am trying to discover different flavours and the way things work on a plate.
I don't think we're convinced that you ultimately want to make that jump between amateur chef and professional. Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. I definitely do, but I can't stand here in front of you, Gary, right now and say I'm ready to be the owner and runner of a, you know, head chef of a restaurant. That's not where I'm at yet. That may cost me the competition.
Normally, if you're sitting here, you're on the verge of watching someone go home, and the fantastic thing about tonight is that no one's going home. But one person is going to win a fantastic prize, the chance to sit down with Justin North at his restaurant Picasse, alongside Katrina Canatani, who's probably one of the best pastry chefs in the Southern Hemisphere, and Sean Connolly from Astral, who is another amazing chef.
Those three chefs are pretty amazing. I'd love to pick their brains. And I think it's the one prize out of everything so far that I would cherish the most. And if I could win this on the back of producing my food, it'd be even more special.
Today really has been all about the vision you have, how your food, the food that comes from here, connects with that vision. Now, Sam, that was the weakness today. You haven't won the challenge today.
These three other people sitting beside me here have a very clear vision of where they want to go with food. I can't help but feel slightly guilty that I don't.
Julie, you're not alone in struggling to find the balance between restaurant cooking for the home or home cooking for the restaurant. Having said that, the pudding that you put up, that was elegant, sophisticated, simple, and a real pudding, is the sort of Julie that we'd love to see more of. I'm sorry to say, you haven't won today.
I'm definitely going to go away and have a think about things a lot more deeply. If I can get the right balance, then I'll be okay.
Andre, Chris, that leaves you two. You produced two of the best meals today by far. And one of you will win today's challenge. Andre, that this theme, this Italian theme, was reflected well in the meal that you prepared for us. The gnocchi was beautiful. It just was a little bit out of touch in that silly parmesan basket. Your main course was delicious. The caponata was fantastic. And I think the trout worked perfectly. And your semi-freddo was popular on all three counts, so well done. I think what we'd like to see is you articulating where you want to go and what you want to do with this thing.
If they want me to talk about my concepts, I can and I will in the future, but it's important that first and foremost, I'm here to be a chef.
Chris, that pig's head, it was crisp, it was delicious, it was soft, it was yielding, and that cheek was absolutely fantastic. And together, your whole menu worked brilliantly well. I think your vision is clear for everybody to see. We can all visualise that beer bar, we can see that dark wooden furniture, we can see, or I can see, that line of beer taps stretching far off into the distance. Little tapas items to that pig's head rolling out of the kitchen. Chris, you've won today's challenge. Congratulations.
Well done, Chris.
Well done, mate.
Good job.
Stuff. This is why you won. You've got a concept, you're passionate about it, and you executed 3 beautiful dishes that flow.
How's that feel, Chris?
It's amazing. To get the opportunity to cook my own menu's been unreal, and to get the approval of you guys, and yeah, it's incredible.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I think you'd be fooling yourself if you let Chris's victory affect you too much. So I've just got to look forward in the competition. Ultimately, I want to win MasterChef.
My reward for winning this dream challenge is having lunch at Bacass, Justin North's fantastic restaurant.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm Chris.
And not only do I get to dine with him, but I get to dine with Sean Connolly from Astral and Katrina Canatani from Pier.
Hi, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
It was interesting because Justin and I seem to share a similar philosophy when it comes to food. I mean, he's into the whole nose-to-tail kind of approach.
It's really interesting using all those different cuts on there, and it gets you really thinking and get a lot more creative about food.
So it's good to get out there and start searching, looking for new produce and animals and stuff. It's good.
Do you try to use beer in every recipe?
No, only when it's appropriate.
Yep.
I think over the course of the competition, I've only used it twice, I think.
Oh, OK. I saw the cupcakes, they were great.
Yes, that was the first time.
Always keep experimenting and trying different flavour combinations.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that. And you make a lot of mistakes.
That's how you learn, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, every mistake you make is still part of that learning process.
Exactly, yeah.
Isn't it?
It's just blown me away today at how interested you are and how that you're just passionate. You're already at like 3/4 of the way there.
I think that's good to hear.
Hard work.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good luck.
I've just had lunch with some of Australia's best chefs, and it's quite humbling.
Good to see you again.
I think I'm going to take away a renewed sense of passion for where I'm heading. I'm going to have so much more energy and focus going into the final stages of this competition.
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia.
My food's getting better, and I believe it can only get better.
Andre goes head-to-head with the chef in black, Emmanuel Strawbat.
Andre, getting nervous now?
Yeah.
Will the amateur be able to beat the pro at his own signature dish?
How long have you been doing this dish for?
20 years.
At stake, the chance to be fast-tracked to the final week of the competition.
Finally, I get my turn to shine.
I don't know how he's going to make it.
It's quite daunting to know that somebody is that good.
My head is gradually building to melting point.